Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coaster News. And let's just get straight into the news today. Obviously, as always, we've got some very amazing and exciting news from different theme parks, rides and attractions from across the world. So let's just get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, Merlin Entertainments have announced their events lineup for all their attractions in the UK for the 2022 season. And this is obviously incredible news. There's actually a lot more events going on at Merlin parks this year than there has probably ever been in their history. So obviously, they don't just have events at the theme parks, they have it at the various visitor attractions as well. So like Warwick Castle, Sea Life, the dungeons, obviously, places like that. And obviously, even the theme parks have a lot of events. So obviously, Alton Towers this year, they've got the new Festival of Thrills event, as well as the returning Mardi Gras, Oktoberfest, Scarefest, Fireworks and Christmas. So that's 6 events. Fort Park have got their new Carnival of Mardi Gras events, as well as Oktoberfest and Friday Nights. Chessington have obviously got their new Mardi Gras event, as well as Wilderfest, Halloween and Winter's Tale. So that's 4 events, I think. Yeah, it is 4 events. And there's obviously a lot going on this year at theme parks in the UK. Legoland have got a few events as well. They've got Brick Week, which I think has already happened, as well as obviously their Brick or Treat event and a few other things. I'm not sure what the events are at Legoland, as well as all the different events at the visitor attractions that they have. And so obviously this is brilliant that they expanded their events lineup at their different visitor attractions. And I'm actually going to visit some of these events. Obviously, I'm going to go to some of these new ones anyway. Obviously, I'll be going to Alton Towers Festival of Thrills, which is new for this year. I'll be visiting, and I'll also be visiting the Fort Park during the Carnival event, which is also new for this year. As for the other visitor attractions, I don't know. I mean, possibly, who knows? But there's a lot of events going off at different Merlin attractions this year, and it's looking to be their biggest year of events that they've had so far, and it's just incredible to see that they are adding all these events to their lineup. In other news today, Iron Gwazi has officially opened at Busch Gardens Tampa in Florida, and we have all been waiting for this day for a very long time, like 2 years, 3 years even. It's been that long since they announced Iron Gwazi. It was back in like March 2019, I think it were, around that time, or February. Obviously, in case if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically Iron Gwazi is a RMC iBox hybrid coaster that's actually a conversion of the old wooden racing coaster Gwazi, which operated from 1999 until 2015. Yeah, 15. And it was after that it was standing but not operating until 2019, when they started to take the ride down, and they announced that they are converting it into an RMC hybrid coaster for the 2020 season. Now, what's different about this is that it covers, obviously, Gwazi was a racing coaster, meaning that it interacted with itself, so you'd think there'd be 2 tracks, but no, they're basically changing the entirety of Gwazi, which was the racing coaster, into one ginormous coaster. And if you look at Iron Gwazi compared to the original Gwazi, they look like 2 completely different rides. It's honestly just like a completely new experience. The only way actually it is linked to the original Gwazi is the name and probably some like the support structures on the ride, because I think they're reusing some of the original wood from the ride back when it operated in 1999 until 2015. I think it was built by Great Coasters International originally. Obviously, since then, over time it got a lot more rougher and rougher, and then in 2015 it closed permanently, and now they've converted it into an RMC hybrid. It was supposed to open in the 2020 season. They got the track completed. They'd even started testing it, but by March that year, lockdown, COVID had gotten like 10 times worse. Lockdown was announced. I'm not sure how it was in America, but I imagine they'd had a lockdown around the same time as like the UK and things like that. And it was just crazy everywhere. Obviously, theme parks didn't open for a few months. I think American theme parks opened like late June or July or something like that. and obviously it was crazy. Obviously they couldn't open Iron Gwazi that year because it would just draw in loads of guests, and they couldn't do that because of social distancing, so they delayed until 2021. 2021, it didn't open then because obviously the entire SeaWorld Parks and Resorts company that owns Busch Gardens Tampa, as well as Busch Gardens Williamsburg and all the different SeaWorld parks, was facing serious financial struggle in the aftermath of the height of the pandemic, and so they couldn't afford to. I don't think they could afford to open the ride. I think they could. It's just that I think what they were focusing on at that time was just trying to get the money back in. I think anyway. Obviously, the restrictions were still in place, but it wasn't as bad as nearly as in 2020. But they were suffering financially, so they obviously delayed it until 2022, and this time it actually did open. It opens today, at the time of this video's recording, 11th of March. And obviously, we've been waiting for this day for a long time. They had some pass holder preview rides in February last month, and obviously a lot of people have said it's incredible, such a fast and intense ride, and it's one of the best roller coasters in the world. It's actually the first RMC hybrid coaster to feature a beyond vertical drop. Yeah, basically it has a 91-degree drop. That technically makes it beyond vertical because it's the current steepest and fastest RMC hybrid in the world, and it's the tallest one in North America. And it's the tallest in North America, not the world, because it is 206 feet tall. But that technically makes it the same height as Zadra at Energylandia, which is also 206 feet tall, and that opened back in 2019. So that is technically the world's tallest RMC hybrid. Iron Gwazi, I guess it kind of is, but it's the exact same height as Zadra, and that's why they're classing it as North America's tallest RMC hybrid. But obviously, it takes the record for the world's fastest RMC hybrid at 76 miles an hour, and the steepest one with a 91-degree drop, so it's technically beyond vertical. And I wouldn't be surprised if RMC would do more RMC hybrid coasters with beyond vertical drops in the near future. I know that they're building that Air Force One at Fun Spot in Atlanta, but I don't think that's got a beyond vertical drop. As for other ones, I don't know what other plans that they have for hybrid coasters, but they'll probably announce something within the next few months that's somewhere else. I don't know. There's probably there's rumours floating about that. I think Six Flags Over Georgia might get an RMC coaster, even though they've already got one. But I don't know. But it was just great to see that Iron Gwazi is finally open to the public. Also in the news today, Drayton Manor have announced a very big project for 2023. And when I say very big project, that's literally quoting what the CEO of Drayton Manor or Looping Group has said. And that is just such amazing news. They also announced, they confirmed that 3 new additions are going into their new area, which is Viking themed. And I think they also said that the Buffalo coaster, which is a Zamperla powered coaster, I think it is. I think it might be, I could be wrong. It's getting rethemed to a Viking theme. And it's a new land featuring 3 new rides. We know that one's going to be a Zamperla Disco, so Cobra at Chessington. And I don't know what the other 2 are. But in that same report, they also said that they have massive plans for 2023. They haven't said what it is, but it sounds big. It says it's a very big project. And it's good to see that Drayton Manor are finally back on track and starting investing a lot more. Because it was only a couple of years ago that they were struggling financially. And it was really bad. I think they almost went into administration or something. So it was really bad. It was literally, I think it was just before COVID. And also probably during COVID when they reopened in 2020. Then in 2021, they got back on track. They opened a new area, Adventure Cove, where they basically just refurbished a few rides, including the Rapids ride, which had been closed since 2017. I think they changed some things about Shockwave as well. They obviously refurbished the Stormforce 10 rides, And they added a new ride called Wave Swinger, I think it was called, which is like a chair swing type ride that you find at fun fairs, but it's got a lot of theming in it. And obviously, I think during COVID, during 2020, Drayton Manor were purchased by the Looping Group, which are like same company that own the likes of Pleasurewood Hills and places like that. And they even stated that they want Drayton Manor to be their flagship park. And they've proven that by investing within these last couple of years. Obviously, last year they got Adventure Cove, and this year they're getting another themed area. This time it's like a Viking themed. They haven't announced the official name yet, but it's going to be like a Viking themed area. They've announced that there's going to be 3 new rides, a Zampella Disco and 2 others. They've announced that I think the Buffalo Coaster is going to be rethemed, and I think, and obviously next year they've got a really massive project coming up. Whether it's going to be in the Viking area or somewhere else, I don't know. They've not even said what it is, but rumours circulating about there could be like a new coaster. Nothing too extreme because Drayton Manor are wanting to go on like the family sort of market. Although they do definitely still have some thrill rides like Shockwave and Apocalypse and things like that. They did have G-Force, but that's gone now. I think that's been replaced by Wave Swinger. But obviously, if they've got these 2 thrill rides, so it does prove that they can build thrill rides, but they still want to be a family park. But I just hope they don't go down the same route as Lightwater Valley, where they're only building small children's rides, removing all the thrill rides. No, I think there should be like Alton Towers, where it's like a family thrill park. I mean, it's not actually far from Alton Towers, to be honest. It's in the same county. I think it's in Tamworth or something like that. So I think it could be like probably like a medium. If it's a roller coaster, I think it might be like a medium-sized roller coaster or something on that scale, possibly. I do not know. I mean, obviously they've got a few coasters. They've got a Vekoma Family Boomerang coaster, an Intamin stand-up coaster. They've got quite a few coasters. They've obviously got the Buffalo coaster, which is a Zampella powered coaster. And obviously, let's hope this adds to that lineup of coasters. And finally, in the news today, pull-through testing has begun on Tron Lightcycle run at Walt Disney World. And obviously this is incredible news for the rides. They're saying that this is like the next phase in construction for the Tron Lightcycle run roller coaster. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically in 2017, Disney announced at the D23 Expo that they were building a clone of the Tron Lightcycle roller coaster from Shanghai Disneyland in Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland next to Space Mountain. And obviously they would start building it a couple of months later in like February 2018. They've spent a very long time building that ride. They spent like 4 years building it. They started building it before COVID. So COVID only added to the amount of time that they'd spent building it. It was supposed to open last year for the 50th anniversary celebrations. I think it was supposed to open on like the 1st of October probably. I don't know, but obviously earlier that year COVID happened, lockdown, they had to halt construction for a few months. Then when theme parks finally reopened, they obviously started construction again, but like it had been for the past couple of years, it was going at a very slow pace. Disney just spent a very long time building these things. And the Tron coaster is no exception. This is like we're entering the 4th year. It's been 4 years since they started building it, and they've only just started testing. I was actually at Disney World when they'd finished the track. You'd think that they'd start testing it not long after, or at least when theme parks reopened after the lockdown. But no, they spent about another year and a half basically building the canopy on the facade of the ride, which makes it look really iconic, and building some other random things. And they've only just started pull-through testing. But that's great news because it means that the vehicles had arrived. They actually released a video on their YouTube channel about it. They stated that they're going to do like pull-through testing, and then they're going to test the launch on the ride because it's a Vekoma booster bike coaster and it's got a hydraulic launch. I think it's got. They're going to test the launch, and then they're going to go into like proper full-on testing where you can literally see the ride going around the track at full speed. So that's a major milestone for this ride because it's been a very long time in the making. and it's long anticipated. There were rumours at the start of this year that the ride were going to be delayed until 2023 because Disney hadn't put the ride on their list of new attractions opening in 2022. So that was just rumoured that we're going to be delayed until next year. But if they start pull-through testing now, I'm thinking that Tron Lightcycle Run might open in like the summertime of this year. That's probably the most plausible opening date at this point. I mean, the canopy's nearly finished. We don't know what's going inside in that building because most of the ride's indoors. I'd imagine most of the stuff going on in that building has been completed at this point because it's been a long time. So it's nearly done. All I have to do is just really finish the canopy, test it, and then I can open it. Obviously, they've got to put the Tron sign up on the front of it because I don't think they've done that yet. Although, based on the concept art that they released a couple of years ago, I don't think they'll be doing that because I think this version of Tron is going to be slightly different than the one in Shanghai. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, that is it for this week's episode of Coaster News, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, then please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below if you'd like to see the next video. Bye!